cool. Is this your first Southern Fried?
It is.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think of the show?
It's awesome. It's like MGC, but like way bigger, and
Yeah.
people are like way nicer. They like loaded
Where
our
in the
machines in
South?
for us. Yeah, I know. The
Oh,
South
they
is-
loaded in the machine?
Yeah, they were like, oh yeah, they had dollies there and stuff. And, like guys pulling machines out. They just pulled them out of the truck and like they were already at our booth, and I was like,
They like built it and everything?
no, I had to set it up. But like they were, like seriously though, they did the hard part.
Well,
like,
that's just
lugging it
'cause
across the.
everyone was excited for Total Annihilation.
No, I think they're doing it to everyone. I think they're just
Yeah?
nice here. I
Yeah,
think
they are.
They're
Yeah.
just like,
We're nice in the South.
yeah, I know, right?
What's up?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you are from up north, like
Yeah, Chicago.
area.
Yeah, people aren't that nice up there.
I think people in Chicago are nicer than people in New York City.
Yeah, we could do that. There's some other places that are probably less nice, even in New York City.
So we're already recording, so
Cool.
it's the
You're
warm
good?
up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna roll with yours.
All right.
Let's
Cool.
do this.
All right.
So today we are here with Scott DANESI, the designer and creator and musician
Saw that.
and visionary behind Total Nuclear Annihilation, and also it's called Total Nuclear Annihilation.
Total
It's-
nuclear annihilation. Okay.
It's tough to say.
Was it not Total Annihilation like a
It
few months
was.
ago?
Yeah, it was
You just
Total
had
Annihilation.
to add the nuclear
Well,
part
we
that
had.
I
Okay,
can't
so
even
here, check
pronounce
this out.
nuclear.
Total Nuclear Annihilation.
that
It's like
story?
it's tough. So first of all, like the name Total Annihilation was actually a video game in the '90s. It was. I guess I don't know much about it because I really wasn't into computer games in the
Yeah.
'90s, but like it was a like strategy, like real-time strategy, I think is what it was. Real-time strategy game. I was sort of aware of the name, and I didn't really think much of it. And I'm like, this is what I want to call it. And then I found out about that. I'm like, it's probably fine.
So
we-
it was copyright issues you ran
yeah.
into?
So there are trademark issues. So that's an actual trademark thing. So it would have been okay because it was from the '90s, and it was just kind of like you can let those things kind of expire, and you can get away with it. No one's really going to go after us for that. But unfortunately, in February of this year, Atari renewed the trademark for Total Annihilation.
Of course they do.
And I don't know if you know much about lawsuits, but whoever has the most money wins. And Atari has more money than myself, so I changed the name.
So why did you pick nuclear?
It was actually it was suggested to me. I didn't come up with it. It was suggested to me by my buddy Yancey. He's like, Total Nuclear Annihilation is just really cool sounding. And he goes, plus, the plus side of this is the abbreviation is TNA. Like, why would you not want that? I'm like, that's funny, but it just sounded good. I mean, that was, I think it just kind of worked out. And it
That's
is
awesome.
what it is now.
So this is your first interview on 904 Pinball Magazine,
Yeah,
right?
now for Pinball Zine.
Zine.
We haven't met yet.
Okay.
I've heard much about this game. Lore with the Whitewood. Like you're touring this
Dude.
white world around.
It's
You know,
crazy.
it's like
And no
it's
one
like we're
cares.
Metallica, but
No
we're
one
touring this sucker with acoustic guitars, man, and playing drums on hand here.
Yeah.
And so I would say it like I'm not gonna say it lives up to the lore because it's more than that. It's intense. It's not a shoot the ramps 80,000 times or lock the shot and like you can LOL and net speak a response on your phone. Like there's no chill mode. There's no chill time
no
on
chill
this
on
game.
it.
It's like
Oh
let's
my
get it
God.
on Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. It's like you made it for like tournaments maybe or
Yeah.
no, but it's intense.
something.
It's the only game out there that made me sweat. I'm like getting down and
Yeah.
I'm like it's a battle. Whereas other games are like whimsical and
Like, let's go on an adventure. I don't really want.
So for all the 904 fans, just briefly explain what Total Nuclear Annihilation is.
All right. So this game actually was something that I'm gonna try and like keep it brief. It's really tough to like not focus in on too much stuff. But I built this game in my garage. I had this idea to build this game. I wanted something that was very fun, so I made a list of everything that I thought made pinball fun and left out everything else that I thought was just kind of waste.
Like ramps.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting with that. Yeah, there are no ramps on this game. Yes, and things that make a pinball fun to me, and I've had some time to kind of think through this a little bit more. I've been talking to a bunch of people, and people keep asking me, and I'm like, some of the fun stuff is the interaction between players when you're playing multiplayer games, right? There's also an interaction between the player and the machine at the same time, so there's different things going on here. And basically, I really thought that the machine itself needed to fight you, like fight back at you, so that you are fighting it, and you aren't necessarily fighting the people that you're playing with. Obviously, you are if you throw dollars on the glass, but at the same time, you're more in tune with fighting the game itself.
So fighting back, like you mean, like when it comes out of the scoop, it shoots back at you.
It's
like
just
stuff
one
like
example.
That?
Yeah, I mean there are dangerous shots in it.
It's pretty scary.
It's scary. The light shows are scary. The music is very intense. It's fast, and it's only going to get faster when I put a real clear-coated playfield in there. I have no idea what's going to happen when that goes down.
I don't like the word random. It's been used by the kids a lot these days. It's not
I don't like
random.
immersive either, but it's what it is.
Most things aren't so much random in this universe as much as we're not smart enough to calculate it.
Yeah.
But we can calculate certain shots in this game, like loops.
Mm-hmm.
Loops are making a skill shot, but. Mm-hmm. All the other shots are random, so to say, and that keeps you on alert instead of like almost all pinball machines the past 10, 20, almost 30 years. It's a muscle memory thing. Mm-hmm. I remember this shot. Oh, I remember this. And so this nostalgia is like it's the music, it's the theme. Mm-hmm. It's the art, and then it's like, oh, I remember making this ramp, and oh, this game used to be so hard. Whereas yours, the experience as a whole is that it's a challenge. And it's random, and it's and the subwoofer randomizes it, so to say. Was that intentional to put like a heavier sound dump in the cabinet?
Yeah, shaking the whole show floor right now.
Yeah,
it's not
it does. So
it's a good.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about the sound system for sure. So. Just another one, going back to that random factor real fast, the way that I look at it is that when you play other pinball machines, you are on the offense all the time. You are trying to beat it, and you're doing stuff, and you're like, hey, do this, do that, do that. This game has more of a balance between defense and offense, right? It is trying to fight you. You are trying to stay alive. Not every shot is safe. In fact, most of the shots are not safe in it. When I see really good players play under control, it's almost like the machine gets pissed when it sees that happening, and it's like it throws.
Well, you put this pop bumper like in the most random place, and it just always just hits
that was by
that.
design. That wasn't random.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I hate to say. I would hate to.
It's order out of chaos.
You evenly put this pop bumper.
Yeah, well,
it's order out of chaos. So is that one of the
chaos?
Order out of chaos? Yeah, that's
Nice.
pretty much explains it. Yeah, the pop bumper was a thing that I really wanted to do, and what I did was I found when I started working on the actual design of it, I started at the bottom. I got my bottom the way I wanted it, the flipper gap and everything like that. And then what I did is I started working my way up. I knew in my head what I wanted to see on the top. And then sort of what I wanted to go on up there, but as I started working up, I'm like, hey, I want to throw a little more chaos in here, and so I put a pop bumper, like, right between the open area on the right side, and then as I worked my way up, the thing that people will notice is that all the angles are very well calculated, because I did this whole thing in the computer. I have, like, shots off the left flipper to the target banks in the middle, are actually aligned so that when it ricochets off that target bank, it's going to most likely hit that pop bumper.
Dirty.
So it is, I mean, it's pretty bad. And if you go off the right flipper to that target bank, it is damn close to the center drain.
Yeah.
So it's.
Did you emulate this at all, or is it just the geometry of it?
I didn't emulate it. No, I don't think emulation is quite representative enough for what I really wanted. I mean, I think what they're doing now with virtual pin and stuff like that program, like Future Pinball and what the other guys, but they've done some neat stuff, but I don't think that's for me.
I need a randomizer button in those things. I mean, I already told the people that make those. I shoot the ramp. I mean, you shoot the ramp, or I shoot the shots way too many times, and I'm like, and like I said, with the analog pinball, the way things are designed, the games are muscle memory, and you can remember it. Do good players adapt? How are people adapting to this game? Or
It's really interesting to see really good players play it, because I got a chance to watch Steve Bowden play it. We were doing some games on that, and I also saw Roger Sharp play it for the first time ever. So something that I did notice, like both of those players are top of the line players, right? They know what they're doing. They know they can look at a playfield without even playing it and say that's a dangerous shot. You know, I watched Steven play a game. He did very poorly on it the first time he played it, and the same with Roger. Roger played it one time and did not do amazing. Like he didn't get very far into it, but I watched Steve keep playing it over and over again, and once he started figuring out exactly what was going on and the shots that were actually dangerous, that didn't look dangerous, it started to click for him, and he was able to. He threw down like a ridiculous score, like 2.5 million last night on the thing. Like,
is that the highest score so far?
So far this weekend, yeah.
Nice.
What is the plot in a nutshell?
The plot in a nutshell, it's interesting. It's kind of like a little sci-fi thing. I'm not. Like, this is gonna make people upset probably, but I'm not really into science fiction much. But I know people are gonna. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, I don't know. I just never really been into it. I mean, but this is sort of a sci-fi technology theme. It's you are basically going into the future to destroy a civilization that has they're right on the brink of discovering reverse time travel, so that they are going to come back and start messing everything up.
From what year-ish are they coming? They're going from.
They're going from, and it's all ish, because I didn't want to do any kind of specifics, but it's like late 80s is where you're coming from, right? And
88, 89, Ninja Turtles era.
Yeah, the era that I actually remember of the 80s.
Is that the era you want to save? Is that like this underlying thing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm saving my childhood.
It could be. Yeah, it could be like some kind of subconscious thing that I never thought of, but
It's
maybe.
I'm good at this. So
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. Jeez,
take
man.
credit for it.
Yeah.
So are there things that you pull from the 80s? The music. The music's a little, it's
the
modern
music is
80s-ish.
Well, just keep this in mind
graphics.
too. This is from the perspective of someone from the 80s, what they thought the future was going to look like. So basically, it's got music that is combined, like electronic techno music combined with 80s elements. Like I used a lot of 80s synthesizers. Like
what were the instruments you used or the software?
So a lot of the instruments that I use are like the main synths that my go-to ones are something called the Poly 6 by Korg. I don't remember exactly what year that was released, but I think it was in the late 70s, and it was used for many, many years, and it's just this analog synth that just sounds so good, and it makes all those bass.
May or may not have left
Okay,
off.
your relationship with Spooky.
Yeah.
Tell the world what it is officially.
Absolutely. So Charlie and I go pretty far back. I work for Pinball Life as the engineer over there, and Pinball Life is a big supplier of parts to Spooky and to Spooky's machines. So I've actually engineered a bunch of parts in Spooky's machines. Like things you don't really see. It's like the boring stuff, like the eject scoops. Those are something that just came out of my head. We made something kind of fit what they needed.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. So they've known me for a long time. They've known I've been working on this project. Charlie has been keeping tabs on it.
He's like, this is gonna be mine.
Yeah, if you look through all the old streams that we did, Charlie was always he was always there. Like nobody really questioned it, but he was always there to watch and have fun with us, because we're A, we're friends, and B, he wants to see, and I wanted him to see what the game was all about in real life. So so that's how that kind of gets started, and then eventually we tried to look at it and say, hey, could this be feasible to actually make because of the interest level? I initially had no intention whatsoever of making this a production game. I was just making it for me. I was making it for my friends. I was making it so I could bring it to shows and just share with people.
Dude, you've been blowing people's minds.
It's
all
surprising.
across the internet in the pinball community, everyone's talking about Total Nuclear
It's
Annihilation.
trash.
Yeah, yeah.
Worst game ever.
Some people I mean, Pinside. Some people hated that artwork when I revealed that.
Those are all trolls that like.
Did you hear that? Did you
They
see
don't.
any of
They
that?
need
either don't
something
leave
to
their-
argue about.
They
I know.
don't leave their mom's
The artwork's-
basement or their wife's basement or something else. Like they, a lot of people review things in general in life before they even have seen it or tried it or played it or. Oh, I don't like sushi. You never had it. Shut up. I don't like barbecue. Like you're not human.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, I get it. And it's okay. But I love constructive criticism. Like if someone says, "Hey, Scott, you know what could be better? Like you did this, but like this is what I think you could have done instead, which is better." And I'm like, "Oh man, you're probably right." Like.
Yeah, and
I love that.
You are still adding more rules and stuff to the
Yes.
game too, right? So
Absolutely.
from Texas to now, what was it that you said that you added?
Okay, so Texas to now, there are new songs for the reactors. I've polished up a few more of the other sound effects and sounds, added a few more little things there. There are now the ability for extra balls. So if you get to a certain reactor, right now the defaults are you get to if you start reactor 3 or start reactor 6, you'll get an extra ball. I made that fully adjustable in the service menu, so you can like.
Is
put
it
that
hard
wherever.
to get?
It's pretty hard to get to 3, yeah. And but if you get to 3, you get a whole extra ball to try and get to 6, and then if you get there, you can So I'm just trying to push people along a little
Yeah,
further into the
nice.
story. But yeah, that's been added. There is new jackpot capability or functionality where this is pretty neat. This was actually a collaboration between the Sharp brothers and myself when we started talking about this. They're like, "Hey, you need to make this." Like they came to me and they said, "Hey, you're doing it this way, but you know what would be really cool?" They're like, "Why don't you take the drop targets and do this and this with it?" So eventually we started talking back and forth with it, and we landed on making the drop targets jackpots. Not huge jackpots, but like the first drop target, when it's up and you hit it during multi-ball, it will give you a single jackpot. Then you have 5 seconds to hit the second drop target, and that will give you a double. And then you have 5 more seconds to hit the third one, which is a triple, and then you have 5 seconds to hit the scoop in the back, which would be a super, which is 5 times jackpot.
My hands are already sweating thinking about that.
Yeah, and it's every 5 seconds the drop targets will cascade backward. So if you let's just say you hit the first you hit the first one, you get a jackpot. You hit the second one, you get a super jackpot. If you don't hit that third one in 5 seconds, that second one is going to pop back up, and then you have 5 seconds to knock that one down again, or that first one's popping up. So
It's
it just
a great
cascades
tournament
back.
game. Seems like.
I hope so. I think the only issue with tournaments in this thing is the ball locks and the fact that you can steal balls from people.
Oh, right.
But you know what? It's okay.
Can
I
you
can
turn
mess with
that
that.
off?
You
I
can
wouldn't
make it where
want
they
to.
drain, so you have to
Yeah.
lock them in and execute on one ball or suck it, and that's done in a lot of games from the mid
Really?
late '80s, especially Gottlieb's. I have a big house,
Mhm.
and if I want to be mean, you have to log 2 balls or 3
Mhm.
and execute multiple on one ball, or they drain, and it's so disheartening. I
Yeah,
did it.
because you see it
Yeah.
coming
I've seen
down.
people
Yeah.
play it. I did in a tournament, and they're so disheartened because they thought like, oh, that's not mine anymore.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's multiple ways to handle it. I could dump the balls after every ball, like during bonus or something, or
Oh,
I could
yeah.
just, tournament players could just play single player on it. I mean, if
Oh,
they're
high
trying,
score.
yeah,
Sure.
if they're trying to battle the machine
For
itself,
qualifying, that's great.
That's-
Yeah, I mean, there's just different ways of handling it. I'll probably do something in the software where they can set it and do something.
I think, I mean,
Nice.
in encompassing in retrospect, it's pretty gutsy for Spooky to put a whitewood out, and they're selling a whitewood. Not everybody lives on the internet, or pinball nerds are the market for Spooky. Pinball nerds are the market for Bust of Stern, JJP, and the others. So, but it's gutsy. It's ballsy. You're taking a whitewood out with a Houdini, with a dialed in,
Right.
with a Batman, with ACDC
No one
5.0. I mean,
Yeah.
really, that's ballsy, and it's like if they like a whitewood, it's like, what's a complete game? It's like icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
What if the graphics end up? I mean, the artwork just ends up really sucking. Can you just? Can we order the
Well,
whitewood version?
I mean, that's
It's like
pretty.
the
LE,
Sharpie on it.
baby.
I want with the
So-
Sharpie on it still.
Yeah.
I like
you-
that.
I
It's
like
character.
it too. It's so
Here.
cool.
I know I'm in an interview. I'm not gonna show the camera, what the playfield looks like.
All right.
The playfield
Oh.
artwork is done, so let's get the camera to capture your face, and you just tell me if you think it's sucky or not. Let's see if we can get it here. All right, where are we at? Where are we at?
That back glass totally had a spooky vibe to it. Ah.
So I don't think the playfield artwork's actually going to suck on it. Matt Andrews is very, very talented. He's.
All right, I'm excited.
Colors are great.
The colors
Yeah.
are great. Just the
So.
the design.
And it
yeah.
explains things
Mhm.
that we know having played it,
Yeah.
but having not played it, it explains where you're at, where you're going.
There's like all the instructions
Oh,
and
cute.
things are on here, you know.
Yeah, I
So.
like the graphics going around this loop too.
And the colors, it's not like
Everyone watching your thing is probably just like, what the hell? So,
Oh,
it's
man.
gonna be
It's
great.
good.
I think everyone
Okay.
will be happy.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
think
play
so.
that.
I think the masses will approve.
It bring
I
yeah,
think so.
it-
You know, I mean, even if 80% of the people like it, that's a win.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. I mean, it's you can't please everybody. It's cohesive to the art package, to the translite, the back glass. The cabinet is gonna have. Is it gonna be just a logo or a character or two, or are we gonna kind of?
It's gonna be something cool, and people are gonna look at it and understand
Something different.
exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, the back glass explains a lot. The logo explains the era,
Mhm.
and the colors
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
The colors do. Less is more, but a little here and there of.
Yeah. Well, it's a mixture of a current game and a game from the 80s, right? So there's elements of, like if you look at the back glass, there's elements of the 80s stuff in there, and there's also elements of like now time pinball machines, you know, like anything from the 90s to now. And you know, I think it was a really good balance the way Matt did that. you
So
know?
how does it go? What's the next step to get it into production? Like,
Yeah,
what is
so-
your guys' time frame?
Yeah,
when
so
we
this,
can start buying it?
Yeah, this is super interesting because right now, basically, I need to assemble a production prototype. So the one that I have down there on the floor with the white wood, we're calling that a proof of concept machine because it basically just proves the fact that it's, you know, here's the layout, here are the rules and everything, and people can play it and just. It's a proof of concept, right?
And it's not crashing. You know what
It
I
doesn't
mean?
crash, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well, now that I say that, watch what's.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know, right?
it has quantitative and quality amount of uptime.
Yeah.
I've experienced other boutique games, and they crash.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, it's running a very robust operating system, hardware and
I
software.
play new games and like, you know, NIB, and they crash.
Yeah.
Or something happens,
Yeah.
and it's. I know stuff gets wiggled around in
Mhm.
shipment, but that's pretty solid. You like.
Yeah, I mean, it wiggles around when we ship it here. I mean, we
That's
drove
what I was-
13 hours with it rattling around in
That's
a
what
trailer.
I was getting at. So you've driven this thing.
Mhm.
That's, you know, it's got
Yeah.
white glove delivery. You had it hand, you know, carried in here.
I
and
know, that's
everything,
crazy.
but-
I know, they could have probably dropped it. Who cares? Like, I don't know, it still
but-
works.
But let's say they did drop it.
Yeah,
It's still running.
whatever,
Like
yeah.
it handles,
Nice.
and that's how you. I mean, like dialed in. They've had it out, testing it out, unraveling things for a long time, and this is you're doing that trial too, but like a little longer, huh?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're getting
Absolutely.
some play on it. Are there any things that are needed to be adjusted to hold up to? I mean,
You know,
is
I've got
everything
some-
used enough?
Well, there's some things in there. This is kind of cool, actually. I have the left scoop, that one that fires it out really fast at you all the time. That is actually a scoop out of a Tron machine.
Okay.
So that scoop needs a coil that fires it sideways and it just loops around back out at you, right? I have a knocker assembly in there that's actually firing and hitting the ball and shooting it back out. Obviously not what a knocker assembly is meant to do stress-wise.
That's awesome.
And it had about 3,100 plays on it, and the knocker assembly I noticed actually at the beginning of this show, as I was just kind of looking through stuff, the knocker assembly bracket was starting to crack. It was starting to get fractures in it. So it would have just
the
just
coil's
all out.
still fine. The bolts
Yeah.
are still in
Everything's
place.
great. Yeah, it's just the actual metal of the bracket wasn't designed to shoot the a knocker is
Yeah.
designed to get hit once every 5 games,
Yeah.
10 games.
But they last for
That'll
dozens
last
of years.
That'll outlast the machine. But firing it the way I'm doing it, it was no good.
Wild.
But what's really funny is I actually had an extra one with me, so I just pulled everything apart real quick, popped the new bracket on there, and put it in the game before a show. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's got a nice fresh one. We'll see how long that one lasts. Maybe another 3,000 plays, hopefully. But that's going to be replaced in the production version with an actual eject scoop, the one that I built for Spooky. So
And
that's
none of these parts are new. You're not like, I have to make this mech or this part or this coil. It's off the shelf.
all of it's off the shelf. The only thing that had to be custom fabricated is that orbit rail that goes all the way around, because it's obviously it's got to fit in there. It's got to have the right cutouts in it. It's got to have little offset bolts and stuff. So.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was a
Those
camera
were
op.
Inside guys.
Inside trolls, hell. Moderator.
I thought I recognized.
Moderator, hell. Come on, Robin. Eject. Eject from thread.
Thread eject.
Never had thread eject. So I'm really oh, come on, man.
Okay, so I had a funny story for you. Some guy came up to me, speaking of off-the-shelf parts, some guy came up to me and he's like, hey man, so what would it take for me to I could probably just build this thing just from off-the-shelf parts, right? I'm like, well, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I guess.
So
Jerk.
the answer to that is yes, but the real answer to that is absolutely not. There's no way you're going to be able to figure that out, man. And first of all, it's going to cost so much money to do that it will be at least 3 times more expensive than just buying the game. It cost me. I had to sell a lot of pinball machines to fund that thing, to even build that proof of concept machine. But I thought that was pretty funny.
They're taking notes.
Yeah, they're looking at it.
Can I
They're
see
oh
inside
yeah. I pop it open every once in a while. Anytime you see that machine open, it's most likely because it's not broken. I'm just showing people what's in it.
It looks really cool open.
It's
too.
crazy when it's open. Yeah, if I leave it running while it's open and the lights are still going,
gorgeous.
we'll see if we can get some photos of it or something for you later.
The community, what do you call this community? The boutique or the modern market or what is that community called? Where you kind of came up with
the homebrew.
Aftershock.
Yeah, it used to be called homebrew community, and then it kind of that's
craft beer.
We don't really call it that anymore. It's just custom game builders.
Yeah,
kind of like people that build motorcycles. They're custom motorcycle builders.
And there's degrees. It's like, hey, I changed. I colorized dots for myself, or then there's the P-Rock, and then well,
there's different levels of actually building a game, right? You can reprogram an existing game without touching anything. You could reprogram and repaint the playfield and backglass. That's like a retheme.
So in a nutshell, what was Aftershock?
Earthshaker Aftershock. Yeah.
What was that like? The inspiration.
Oh, the inspiration for that was I had this really nice Earthshaker. It's actually the prototype number 2, the one that was off the line, the second one off the line. And I'm playing it. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. It was beautifully restored by somebody. And I'm playing it. I'm like, the software kind of sucks. It's really it's not deep enough. It's just not really that fun. It's not exciting, really. I mean, it's good, but not up to what I was.
For the time, it's great.
Yeah, for the time, it's awesome.
Going into Back to the Future.
Yeah, so I did what every normal person does when they acquire a super rare prototype. I ripped all the boards out of it. I screwed an auto launcher to the bottom of the playfield. It had matching serial numbers for everything, which is I just ripping all this stuff out of it, So I put the P-Rock system in it, and then I was like, I'm just going to reprogram it. So I reprogrammed the game the way it was, and then I started adding more and more stuff into it. I put new music. I put new lamp shows. There are the sweeping lamp shows that I did with Total Nuclear Annihilation. It's the same sort of deal. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting little thing. It was a stepping stone.
At what point in making that game, you're like, I'm teasing myself. I'm gonna make a game, but I'm gonna finish this.
It's so much work to program a pinball machine that I didn't want to do anymore. I was like, I am done after this. I don't want to do this.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, it's really, really hard.
You're not allowed to quit.
I know. But see, the thing, my brain's, just like a lot of people in this hobby. I'm like, oh, I'm burned out and forget it, and then
Reload.
I stop for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, let's go.
I quit pinball at least once a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing terribly.
But a lot of my friends in the custom game building community were harassing me. They're like, Scott, that game you made, that Earthshaker game's great. You should just make a custom game. It's not that hard. Just do it. Like, so I just
They
did
cheered
it.
you on.
Yeah, they did, and they
It's
were
the-
harassing me about it. And I guess I'm
Thank
susceptible
you.
to peer pressure.
Thank you, dudes. They're doing that
Yay,
thing.
good job.
Yeah.
Wrangling
Because
him.
not many people go even try
Yeah.
to make a full game. They try to take one apart and Frankenstein it, and that, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
more so than not, that really doesn't work. And then they have to put it back together.
Mhm.
But this game has fun music, unique music,
Absolutely.
great art. Can we slap together some kind of like CD, vinyl, cassette, like, you know, hook them up? I mean, give them a T-shirt, but come on, all formats, man. Cassette's coming back with a
Cassette
hit.
is coming back, dude. I've got a '86 Fiero at home, man, with a cassette player, dude. And I listen to cassettes all the time. I got a little boombox too at work that I put my tapes in.
Be kind, rewind. I mean, come on, but
Or flip it over.
or CD.
Just kidding.
Well, CD and vinyl. CD and vinyl.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, so this is interesting. I wrote a lot of music back in the '90s and 2000s. I actually have a vinyl pressed with music on it that I wrote. So I do know that pressing vinyl is a very expensive and daunting thing to do. It's not really feasible in this case to do that. But the good news is, as of right now, some of the music that I've written, the stuff that's final in that game, has been released to iTunes and Spotify and like Google Music, and you can actually just type my name in there and you can see and listen to some of the stuff that I've made in the past and some of the new stuff now that I just released a few singles.
the more you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I think it would be really neat to just take all of those songs and compile them onto a cassette or something, and then just
How
kind
it
of.
could be a CD with a
Dude, that'd be
cassette
great.
as the cover.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, it could be a cassette with a hey, listen to it online here, like a little sticker in it or something, you
Yeah.
know, because no one's got a cassette player really, but
yeah.
it's kind of like a little challenge too. Like if someone gives you a cassette and says, "Wow, the Total Annihilation music's on here," I think
They'll
people are gonna
find a way.
go
They'll
find a
so
way to
yeah,
play
walk
that.
it,
Still
man.
find it. Totally.
Exactly. Yeah, you can go to pawn shops and get stuff like it's super cheap.
Is there anything else you want to
Dude.
tell the viewers?
Oh man, I don't know.
Wait,
I
you didn't say when can we buy it?
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about
Give
that.
me a date. Give
Yeah,
me an
so
exact date.
well,
I'm not
I can
giving
see
it on
I'm not giving any
location.
exact date. So check this out, though. I do
2
have some
weeks.
information.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. Oh god. So Spooky is going to be getting that production prototype that I'm making as soon as possible, and then after all the documentation and BOM's done, we'll release a price for the game, and all the people on the email list, if they want. Actually, if you guys want to get on the email list, it's sales@spookypinball.com, and that will just link your email to it, and then you'll get email updates on what's going on if you're interested in actually getting this thing. But what we're going to do is after all that's done, we announce the price. We're going to we're targeting to hit production with it at the end of the year. So the production line will be set up at the end of the year, and some of the games will start actually being pushed through. So. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be early next year before anyone gets
Awesome.
a game, but, yeah.
Looking
Can't
forward
wait.
to it.
Yeah, me too.
Many people haven't played it yet that will be sold as we are or hate it, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay if you hate
No
it. I mean,
one's
it
gonna
isn't,
hate it.
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It was totally different. Oh yeah, because collectors and pinball nerds and pinsiders, all you guys have asked for an original theme, something different, and you got it. So go play it. If you like it, buy it. But you asked for it, you got it. Here it is, and
It's definitely different, for sure.
it's different. You asked for it. Here it is.
Next show it's gonna be at?
I don't know. Probably Expo. I'm hoping to have the entire thing done. That prototype's going to have art all in it. So
Cool.
it's going to have cabinet art, it's going to have playfield art, it's going to have the back glass in it, and
It's
it
gonna
should
look
be.
so beautiful. Oh my
We should be able to
gosh.
show that, and people can just, play that. They can take pictures of it, whatever. It's gonna look. I think it's going to look great.
Bring like a giant towel because everyone's gonna be drooling all over that machine, man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be late for class. You have 2 minutes to get to the chancellor room.
Do
Oh
I?
my God.
All right. Can
You're supposed to
I?
be there.
Can I come back and talk more?
Groovy.
You guys want to do
if
that?
you want to, yeah.
Yeah, because I like talking to you guys. It's good
Groovy.
stuff. Yeah. 1 minute. All right.
Run,
I will be back.
See you.
run.
Thank
It's
you,
right
guys.
in the corner, on the other side.
All right. I'm there.
See
Nice.
ya.
Scott DANESI. That was awesome.
It's pretty
Dude,
good.
the art package. I'm excited. I you excited about the art package? I was hoping that I would look at it and be like, it's not.
I was
that
gonna be like,
good,
oh,
but-
that's mud. My name is Mud. It's bright. It's and it explains on the playfield what's going on. I know what 1, 2x, 3x, 4x. I can read that, like the X's on the playfield, and after playing it, you know what's going on. But it's bright, and it's
gonna pop.
the colors are in the right places. It's the right vibrance, and it's not. I don't say it's not hard to look at. It's not harsh on the eyes.
Yeah, with the lamp shows too that he has, with that.
It'll complement it. It will complement it because the light shows to me on a whitewood, on any whitewood.
You got so angry right there.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to see. It blinds you.
Put on sunglasses.
You know, I'm not. But with art, and this is unique in pinball that we are actually experiencing a whitewood outside of the factory, outside of the designer's office. This has not happened.
Yeah.
And
did you see that Spaceballs whitewood that's sitting in there?
yeah,
What is that?
they added last year had nothing on it, and this year has a ramp and some mech. Rooting for them, but it doesn't even fire a
cool
ball.
theme idea.
But it's a theme that could have been done for the past 30 years. All these themes coming out now that are themes could have been done for 20, 30 years. Alice Cooper could have been done for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
Aerosmith, 30 years. Metallica, 30 years. It could have been done. Domino's, 40, 50 years. You know, up your game, Pizza Hut. You know, Mickey D's multi-ball. I mean, this is branding here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, now I can picture the package, the total package, and
It's exciting.
wow, I can't wait. Now I'm like, now I have to wait.
I know.
But
beginning of the year, huh? Let's see.
Expo. I think they're really gonna grind to get it at Expo. Expo is still a big important show, and well, if you're going to Expo, is going to be lucky enough to see a complete game. And there are still new rules and fixes and implementations to the code that are being done. Again, the animations, these aren't the animations that are going to be in the game. This is prototype animation. So we don't even know what the animations are going to look like. More sound effects and things. So we'll hit stop on this video.
Yeah.
And to be continued. We'll talk to Scott again later.
We should do it by the pool.
Yeah, I have to get creative with these things because there's usually not a room, and this is actually a room. If I didn't have this room, I was gonna go in the elevator with Dirty Donnie because loving an elevator, do an interview.
Yeah, you guys should do it in the bathroom, like both in separate stalls.
You know what? You know what's funny is outside the tournament area here, who came up with this? There's a Aerosmith pinball machine outside the men's room, and it's a tournament game. So it's like, it's not a good idea, it's not a bad idea. People are still putting money in it. It's a tournament game, but...
It broke a few times, but I guess what you're getting at is like bring hand sanitizer?
No, don't touch it. Don't touch this game. Like, it's like, dick move. Yeah, wear gloves, you know? Only the sanitation workers should be playing this.
It's already broken. Maybe it got a little
broke?
too sticky.
Yeah.
It was smoking earlier.
I was figuring, if you might as well go the whole way. You might as well put the game in the bathroom. There is a chair in this bathroom. Like, you can hang out and be like, them balls. It's bad. Like, there's a chair. Like, you can hang out. Yeah, walk. But they should have like a TD, like a tournament director, in the bathroom and be like, Tilt, all right, you're DQ'd.
I know what to do next year.
All right.
Brian.
Yep.
Just sitting there.
All right, Brian, no more games near bathrooms. Next year, new rule. New rule for Pinvasion. I guess we're done.
Yeah.
Ad-libbing.
Deuces. All right, what's next? Cosplay